All right, so we're here at a New Branch film set, and I just wanted to chat a little bit about cameras. There's been a lot of conversation we had as we were finalizing all the details is what would be the best camera for our shoot. Now, there are tons of different cameras that would work great. There's lots of different, Nikon or do we use Reds or Canons or, all these different things, Sonys. I feel like most professional cameras are pretty much interchangeable these days. So this isn't like, this is the only camera you can use, the other ones are garbage. But for what we're doing, we went with the C300 Mark II. Now what we're doing is we have a 4-camera shoot and 1 person teaching and about 14 audience members listening. So we had a couple boom mics for the audience members and then lavalier on the main person. But we wanted to be able to easily sync the time code and all that together. And so, one of our first options was maybe a C100 or a C200. Some of the limitations were time code was not going to be easily able to sync with multiple cameras. So take a look at one of our cameras over here. So this is the C300 Mark II. We have a Atomos Ninja on here, or an Atomos, one of those 7-inch screens. And basically we're going in with the time code from audio is sending it over here, and we're just patching it in and going to all 4 cameras. That'll allow us to sync it all together. Another reason we chose the C300 Mark II over the C200 specifically was some of the codec differences. Because we're shooting 3 days in a row all day, if we were going to be using raw light on the C200, the amount of data used, the amount of hard drives needed is exponentially larger. And so what we wanted to do was use a little lighter codec, which is the 10-bit 4K option that is internal to the C300 Mark II. So we're using a 7-inch Atomos just for viewing. We're not recording internally. All the recording internally will be on the CFast 2 cards. So just to give you an idea, this is a 35 millimeter. We have a 70-200 on our A camera right over here. And then I'll show you right over here, we have 2 other cameras going on. We have 24-70, and you're shooting at what, 27? Yep. And then we have another 70-200 over here as well for our D camera. And so ideally, if you're doing multiple cameras, they're all the same camera, so you can have the same settings all over. So everything we're shooting in the native ISO 800, which will give you the highest 15 stops of dynamic range. One tip on that I recently learned, if you go ISO 400, there is a little less noise. However, you're only able to get about 14 stops of dynamic range because of how it's set up. And below that, you're losing some of the highlights as well. It could be even less than 14, even in the 13 stops. So if you're using a C300 Mark II, ISO 800 is definitely where you want to be. The other thing I'll say is when we were talking about the C200 option, that has CLOG or CLOG2, which are 2 great profiles, which we use a lot. But for this, we really wanted CLOG2 across the board, which is the flattest Canon profile that's out there. That will let us do the most color grading, color correcting to really dial in the look that we wanted to do. So having CLOG2 as an option was a real value for a shoot like this. So anyway, hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, love to keep chatting about it. Leave a comment below, and happy shooting.